Oh, like I'm live? Do the Cowboys effing suck?
Oh, no.
Jerry Jones is changing his tune about the trade deadline, and they got whooped again, but we're going to work through it together right here on the Cowboys DLLS podcast. All right, get up in here. Let's do it. It's the Cowboys DLLS podcast, and we have things to discuss as they lost another football game. Cowboys lose to the Atlanta Falcons 27-21, and we are here to take you through all of it. Jerry Jones is changing his mind, apparently, and he might be helping your football team say, what? And they did point out that I didn't do a meow to start the show, and instead of just admitting that I forgot, I'm going to say that I demand that people play better if they want to earn my animal sounds. If you play poorly, you know what you'll get from me? The turtle love-making sound.
Uh-oh.
I know a lot of you have seen that video, but if you haven't, it sounds like,
You got to earn.
That's what it sounds like.
You got to earn that cat.
Yes, you
Turtles?
must
Got to earn that cat.
Oh, my God.
We ain't giving cat for free around here. You got to earn that cat, baby.
Meow. That's correct. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And also, today is our last day for the greatest deal in the history of the world for being a diehard. All the information is in the description or at alldlls.com/intro. For the best deal we've ever had. It ends tonight. So get up in there. Be a part of this thing with us psychos. My name is Jeff. To my right is my friend and Cowboys analyst and former Cowboys wide receiver, Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
A lizard in the village will never be a crocodile in the city.
I don't know what that means, but did you see that the biggest crocodile in the world passed away yesterday?
Did not.
Like 110 years old, over 2,000 pounds, 18 foot long.
R.I.P. to that crocodile and R.I.P. to Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones as well, yes.
Yes.
Indeed. Next to Jesse is our X's and O's queen and analyst, Aisha Morrison. Two eyes. And I want to tell you guys as we get started, because Dak was caught on the sideline yesterday, the pro lip readers. They caught Dak, and he appeared to say, "We suck.
Mm-hmm.
We suck." And I wanted to let you know, because November is Men's Mental Health Month, that doesn't mean that you suck. You are worthy. You are special. And you matter.
Yes.
You don't suck. They do. So anyway, we move onward. We had a game. It was bad. I think the season's over. But we're not going to talk about the draft yet. We're still going to talk about football.
Yeah.
We're still going to talk about football. We're going to talk about Cowboys football. Because there's a lot of stuff to talk about that game. And I think the number one thing that I want to throw to you, Jesse, is when you are this far into a season, I think Mike McCarthy is a capable NFL coach, but things are just so bad in so many ways that the number of moments in that game where you have 12 men on the field when you're trying to go for it on fourth down. You have 10 men on the field when you're on defense and they have 3rd and 4 and nobody's covering the motion man Bijan Robinson, because that would probably be the job of the 11th man who's not on the field. You're false starting left and right. Your pre-snap penalties are out of control. It's so many things that when your team isn't good enough, boy, you better get that stuff right. And they're getting none of it right. Jerry is reiterating that he believes in Mike McCarthy, and I just don't know how to get myself in that place because it all looks so broken.
You know, we watch the games on Sundays and we see the wins and losses happen on Sunday, but you can look at a football team right now in the Cowboys, and this game wasn't lost on Sunday.
Right.
Like, it just so happened to be revealed to us that the loss happened on Sunday. This game was lost Monday through Saturday, because they practice on Saturday. That's when this game was lost. When you talk about 12 men in the huddle and 10 guys on the football field and running a stupid fake punt pass all these different things where the attention to details, where you're not blocking the guys in the right place. And that's Monday through Saturday stuff. And it just gets revealed to you on Sunday. And a lot of that falls back on the coaches, not just Mike, but Zim and Solari and Harris and Greg Ellis and Prince and Luna, all those guys. It all falls back on them throughout the week because you have failed to really drive home attention to details. And that's another telltale sign of when a locker room has completely shut you out from a trying to take instruction from a coach that you look at and you either no longer respect, you either no longer fear, or you look at and you're saying you're gone in a matter of weeks. We've begun to shut you off, and there is a leadership issue. There is a attention to detail issue, and all these things that we're seeing play out on Sunday in the losses have happened Monday through Saturday.
Yeah, and we've heard multiple times this year already is we didn't practice well. The install didn't go well. And you see that, and to your point, Jesse, so something that I've noticed is that, and this speaks to maybe the leadership or whatever is going on internally, is you see some guys trying. Like you see some guys like this, the effort and the way that they're playing, that you understand that they understand the moment. And then you see some guys are not doing that. And that's where you also see that there's a disconnect in belief. I don't know how much belief is in this team right now, given what we're seeing, because when you believe, you do pay attention to the details, Jesse. You do. You're at the meetings, you're attentive, you're all those things. And the mistakes that this team is making, it's just, you can see it in their body language when the mistakes happen, that they're exhausted with it themselves. So it's like, if you're not fixing it, but it keeps happening, but you're irritated by it, what's the disconnect? It's like having a kid. It's like you're doing the same thing.
The quote that I used was, by nature, football players will run to the wall. But for the good coach, they'll run through it.
That would hurt. I couldn't.
And
depends what the wall's made of.
Like, I am a little jealous by this team, but you watch the Detroit Lions. That's a team that will run through the wall for their coach. Mm-hmm. You watch the good football teams and you see players willing to run through the wall. You watch this football team and players are running to it and then making decisions and saying, that's going to hurt.
No.
I'm not quite going to run through this thing. And that's the effort that you want. And I say that metaphorically, but that means pay attention to details throughout the week. That means putting in extra study time. That means being good practice players. That means all those little things. That running through the wall for your coach means we're willing to do whatever it takes for us to get to that victory. We're willing to do whatever is necessary for us to overcome whatever deficiencies that we may have as a roster. Because there are times where you can have players play above their probably God-given talent if they believe.
Do you think that they're at a point that where it is when you lose as many starters as they have, or lost as many depth pieces as they have, do you think that there is Jeff mentions the human element of it is like, we ain't got enough. Like, we don't have enough in certain places, or these guys, or we have enough, but they're not 100%. They're not 100%. And I understand in football that guys typically never are 100%. But I'm asking you, like, is there a point to where you'd be like, dang, we have our 4 starting ends, or our four ends are out. Our cornerbacks are dealing with some injuries as well. Like, at one point in time, because Trayvon played yesterday. I'm not sure if he should have played yesterday. I mean, of course he went, but that speaks to, I think, some of the urgency that they feel. CeeDee Lamb staying in the game, trying to play through the pain he feels, again, to me speaks to, like, well, we don't have enough right now. Like, these star players aren't allowed to be out, or they can't be out right now. No, is that none of that?
No, I'm not saying it's not none of that, because guys always want to play.
Tracking.
Right? Like, guys always want to play. And there is a belief that, yeah, I'm not Micah Parsons, but I can go out here and make a play. Mm-hmm. And that's where the attention to detail comes into play, because you're not gifted enough to do what Micah does.
Right.
You're not gifted enough to do what Tank does. You're not gifted enough to do what CD does. And so for those guys who are out there playing, you have to do exactly what you're coached to do, because you're not afforded the luxury of having that superior talent that would overcome the deficiencies.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like,
I understand.
So guys want to go out there and do it, but it's just like,
But once you start getting whooped, you go, oh man.
that's when it comes. Yeah,
Once
that's
you
when
start
it
getting
comes out.
whooped, it's easy to be like, well.
And I think that's what I was trying to get at is like, yeah, you can have this belief and everything, but then when you start getting knocked in the teeth and you understand there's no help coming or there's no other solution to that, how does that wear on you? What you got, Jeff?
Well, I wanted to go to the next thing because Jerry Jones, after the game, he does not usually talk to the media after road games. And for the first time this year, he did. And I think that Jerry Jones is smart enough to know, well, he knows everything people say. Like, I know that he definitely watches this show. And he gets things brought to him of what everyone is saying about the Dallas Cowboys.
Like and subscribe.
Please
hit the like
and
button.
subscribe. Yes. Yes, do it for us, not for Jerry. And I think he knows all of those things. And I think that's why he talked after the game. Because he knows that I wasn't alone in being like, look, if you don't beat Atlanta, the season's over. I think he knows that his fan base feels like the season's over. And so it was time to do the Jerry bit, which is insert some hopium into the building. Because it was, 2 weeks ago where Jerry Jones Jerry got mad at people for asking him if he wanted to improve his team and literally said, where are you going to find these players? As all the contenders were trading for players. And he was like, where are you going to find these players? And so last night after the game, he said, we'll probably do a couple things this week. I'm a long way from being dismayed about this team this year.
Dismayed is crazy.
So he's going hopium and saying, yeah, the trade deadline for the NFL is tomorrow. And Jerry is now floating that, hey, keep your eyes peeled. We might help this thing. And we'll get into more of it during Magic Marker Monday in our third segment today. But I just think two things about that. Number one, is Jerry the sort of dude, and I think the answer might be yes, which is what I'm worried about, that public perception could skew him so far that he'll do something that doesn't actually line up with their plan? What's happening right now this season is their plan. They didn't plan to get hurt. They hoped that they would play better football, but their plan was never to trade for anybody, not to sign people who get big signing bonuses that you'll owe money later. None of those things. We're going to play with what we got, see a bunch of young dudes, keep all of these draft picks. They're going to have like 10 of them, get ready to spend on stuff later. This year was 100% always going to be reboot, rebuild, reshuffle, balance, salary cap, whatever. It was always going to be.
The plan got him now, though. Like, he
But
had
now
the plan. Now the plan is like, nah, I got you. I got you by the balls.
And he's done it. Jerry has been receptive to public opinion and had it altered what you might do and gone crazy. And I wonder, do you believe what he said? Because, like, you're going to get caught in this lie literally in 24 hours, or 30 hours. The trade deadline's going to pass and nothing happened. But just for 2 days of hope, he changed his tune after the game and wanted to make sure that he spoke to the media after the game to let him know that I love my head coach, which means you don't. And that, hey, he said we got some things in the mix. Like, they're about to do some things, which I don't think they are. I just think it's interesting that he felt like he had to do that.
At this point, given everything that Jesse detailed at the start of the show, what does it matter? Because if you do if you do bring some guys in here via trade deadline, if the belief isn't there in the coaches or the way that this team feels and stuff, I mean, how does that supercharge you? How does that give you an oomph?
I think you'd have to trade for 8 guys. Yeah. And so, like, there's no point. There's no point.
I think there's no point either.
No,
as well.
but his coming out and speaking what he spoke and the way he spoke it was never for us to believe it. It was never for us to believe it. It was always for the fans. It was always for, hey guys, we got a big time game coming up. Right, we got 2 more home games. We got 3 more home games coming up. We got the big Thanksgiving game coming up. So if you're thinking about buying tickets, buy them. Like, buy your tickets now while they're on sale, because and that's the whole thing. It was never for us to believe, because we don't believe it.
No.
Like, this is
We've heard you too long.
Right. Him saying this is the same thing as him saying all in. Like, we don't believe that you're going to go do something in free agency in the next 24 hours. And if you do, if you're not going to get Patrick Mahomes or you're not going to trade for Ben Johnson to come be your head coach for the rest of the football season, then there's nothing that you can do that could adequately advance this team in any way, shape, or form.
You can do that, right?
What?
You can trade for a coach, right?
You can trade
Sure.
for a coach, yeah.
I've seen it hasn't happened. I haven't seen it happen much, but can you guys explain maybe when that's happened?
Who got traded for? Peyton Gruden?
That was Gruden, I
Gruden
believe.
got traded for?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can trade for a
Yeah.
coach. Yeah, it's allowed.
Interesting.
I mean, but it's very rare, and you have to have really unique circumstances on both sides. And
Okay.
I don't think Jerry would ever give up anything for a coach. I mean, he literally won't hire people who have been employed the year before. He waits until they're a couple years out so that they're real cheap.
Please.
he ain't going to do all that. Yeah, Jerry is not about to change. Yeah, we know, KG. We know.
KG is tired
And
of
Michael, why sign Dak if he was going to tank the team? Because it's a longer term thing, and we could do the segment longer form.
Mhm.
The Cowboys' winning window does match up with CD and Dak's contracts. It's just not this year. This year, the idea is no, save. They have $20 million in cap space right now, which you get to carry over. And guess what? That's already spent on retiring Zach Martin, Tank Lawrence, who will be gone, Brandon Cooks, who will be gone. They eat that $20 million because they've moved their monies back. So that's gone. And then they are set up to restructure the big money guys, have $100 million to spend, and over the next 4 years, go for it. They're set up for it if you believe that they'll do it, which we'll see.
When you talk about the window, really quick before we go, when you talk about the window, I thought their window was, I understand what you're saying in regard to what's going on with the NFC and their contracts and everything, but I thought their window was before this. Because when you look
They
at
pushed hard last year, and that's what's catching up this year. That's why they're not doing anything.
Well, yeah, because when you look at your division, even in particular, your division has been behind you for, 3 years now? Because most of those guys either they didn't have a quarterback or they had a quarterback, but they had a whole bunch of changes going on. You look at the Commanders, you look at the Eagles, all the coaching changes they've had in a couple years, they've been successful. And then you look at the Giants. You've had some level of control over your division as far as having a franchise quarterback and everything. So when you talk about their window, I'm like, when you say that this is the window, when it's open, it'll be open. Like, I'm thinking that it's past. My mind said that it's past because you were in position given where the NFC and your division were, and now they have caught up to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just mean in terms of when will they have the resources to do things the way they did them last year again, and that answer is this offseason, maybe, and definitely the 3 after. So get ready, Cowboy fans. It could get fun. Coming up next on the Cowboys DLLS podcast, we got the Cowboys running back situation. What happened there, and do we officially have a dude? Next.
If you're crying, like most of the Cowboy fans are right now, you're probably heading into work today, eyes a little bit puffy, and a little bit,
maybe because you drank last night,
or you drank. But sunglasses and Advil. Last night was mad real, as Kanye once said. Make sure that those sunglasses are Shady Rays. Make sure that those polarized Shady Rays, like Kanye said. 35% off a pair of polarized sunglasses at ShadyRays.com. Use the promo code DLLS. They have over 300,000 5-star reviews. If you break them, if you lose them, if you decide that you just don't like that particular pair that you have anymore, send them back. Shady Ray said, hey, if you don't, whatever it is, send them back or tell us that you lost them. We'll send you back the same pair for absolutely no charge. What better solution is that? Head over to ShadyRays.com, get you a pair of polarized glasses, get 35% off. Use our promo code DLLS, ShadyRays.com.
All right, let's also talk about our buddies at Sleeper, which I'm obsessed with. Our promo code there is DLLS Boys. And what you do is you put your ball knowledge to the test by picking whether your favorite or maybe your least favorite players will have more or less than their projected stats each week. And that would be, of course, in the NFL world. They also have NBA, college football, whatever sport you want. They've got it on the Sleeper app. And all you got to do is be all sports smart and say, yeah, he's going to have more or less than that. Like I actually... I had picked an alternate number and moved Rico down to 40 yards once I knew Zeke was out. And I said, yes, he will have more than 40 yards. And I nailed that, but I did not nail Dak. And so that wasn't good. But with Sleeper, the more picks you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. If you think you got what it takes, download that Sleeper app. Use the code DLLS Boys, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. All right, we had our running back situation with the Cowboys, which involved one of the running backs not making the trip to Atlanta for disciplinary reasons, allegedly being tardy to things, missing at least 3 meetings, including Friday.
Habitual was the word.
Habitual, which is weird because in the middle of that word is you're cussing. Habitual, you know?
A little bit.
That's weird. But anyway, so you didn't have Zeke. You did have Dalvin Cook. Rico had his new best game of the season, which means he'll probably get benched next week.
Please don't say that.
Because that's what they tend to do. And I do think that there's a Rico conversation to be had here, because I actually really like what I have seen from Rico Dowdle, and it actually just makes me more frustrated that he doesn't have literally double the amount of carries he has, and that they keep playing around. Like in this game, he was the running back.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should have been all year. He's up to 4.5 yards a carry. His success rate is top 5 in the NFL. He might be real life good. And what you have behind him is just not. But I think we need to acknowledge the Zeke thing and like what happened there and what that potentially means for whether it's just him or whether it's for the team. Because it's weird. He was brought in to be a certain thing, and what he is being disciplined for is the exact opposite of what he was brought in to be.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, this Zeke situation has so many layers. Like so many layers, because let's go all the way back to when they signed him. And we all believe, and if you don't, just say you don't, but this was a Jerry signing, right? Like this wasn't something that Mike McCarthy truly was bought in on bringing Zeke into the fold. So my belief, and this is not someone told me, this is just my thought process and theory, is there was a conversation that was had, something was told to Zeke of what we're going to use you for.
By Jerry.
By Jerry.
Yep.
And I don't think what Jerry told him, what he was going to be used for, lined up with the thought process of what Mike McCarthy thought they were going to use him for. One of the great things that coming into this situation about Zeke was that leadership role, right? That guy who practiced well and was a good locker room guy. If you had to interpret it to NBA terms, it's what Udonis Haslem was, what was Juwan Howard and Jerry Stackhouse and J.J. Barrett. It was those guys where you still could play a little bit, but we brought you in because we got these other young guys around us, and your leadership and your mentorship and your ability to show them what a professional football player looks like would be helpful. And then the season came along, and however you want to cut it, the athlete in Zeke thinks to himself, well, I still got it. Like the athlete is always the last one to know when you don't have it. That's just fact.
Yeah.
Right. And now I'm hearing from the boss that I'm supposed to be getting these reps. Mm-hmm. But then I'm looking how it's lined up in practice and what the coach is saying, and it's not matching up. And in my mind, I'm still him.
The wild ass part of the Cowboys. Your boss is telling you stand over there while the running backs play, but his boss is telling you
go in there.
You're the guy.
You're the bell cow. And now this thing is happening, and you're going through these games, and you're getting 5 snaps. You know, you're getting 5 carries. You're getting 2 carries. You're getting this. And then it all comes down, you know, all this jumbles together. And last week it was Dalvin got sick, right? Rico. Yeah. And then now this week it's the scratch. And some could say it's the habitual lateness and stuff like that. I'm also under the belief that there was a little bit of cussing and fussing that probably went on in that situation. But what a cluster mess.
Yeah.
What an absolute cluster mess from this whole situation. And you know, mentally, this can wear on a player because you're being told one thing, you're being told another thing, you're being shown something different, this back and forth thing. You still feel that you got it, and we all know you hear what the public is saying about you, and you're losing, by the way, because sometimes it's easier to accept your role if you were 6-2.
Yeah, because that's what I was about to say. I was about to say this is the situation that you're in right now is players when they start mentally and emotionally checking out, then it's not just him. It's not just Zeke. It's other players like that I'm worried about them not being locked in. What comes with that? The mistakes and the decision making and stuff.
I think we're seeing it on Sundays.
Particles.
Right?
Yeah. No, yeah, you are. You're seeing it in the way they're playing on the field and stuff. But I'm talking about just in general. Like if they're not locked into what's happening with the football operations, how does that affect to what happens on the outside of the building and how they go about their everyday lives? And
I'll even add, and not that I want to bring Dak into this situation, but here's how this also plays. Because we all know who is Dak's Ace Boone Coon.
They best
Who
friends.
is his bestie?
Zeke.
Who is the guy that he probably championed to come back to this team so that I can be with my bestie again? And this Dak is supposed to be your leader of this team. Well, if I'm a player and I'm like, damn, Zeke's late again? Damn, Zeke missed another meeting? Damn, Zeke's not practicing? Damn, Zeke's cussing folks out in these meetings? This your boy.
Especially if you're like a Rico who has been waiting for this opportunity,
right, yeah. Or Dalvin
been
Cook,
waiting for the snaps, been busting his tail. He's healthy. Like, it is insulting in a sense. So
now, Dak, you're the leader, right? Like you're the guy. So when you tell me, "Hey, bro, you need to do a little bit more," like you said last week in the media, that more guys need to do more.
Probably talking to him.
You know what I look? You know what I look about? I look around and I go, "Tell your boy."
No,
don't tell me. Have you told your boy?
I think that's probably who Dak was talking to and about.
Yeah,
I think it was
his boy.
I think it was some others as well.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Jeff. I do think that was his way of sending a message.
And I'm gonna. No one has to comment on this, and I'm not gonna do it for long or go far with it. But I would say if you combine what people said about Zeke pregame and postgame, at first I thought McCarthy is saying, yes, he's not here, discipline, we're moving on with our day. And then when Jerry came on and was praising him and talking about he's a great leader and a great person and all that, I was like, oh, there he went cutting the coach's nuts off again. But then I heard Dak in the postgame, and his quote is, definitely a difficult situation. I'm wanting to help. Obviously, this was a mutual decision, him not taking this trip. I'd like to see us rally around him with us being the teammates and brothers that we are. I will say, I might have heard that sometimes people are struggling. Sometimes people aren't in the best place and they're struggling. Mm-hmm. And the way that people are talking about him, I hope it works out for the best. That's what I would like to say about that. Mm-hmm. I thought Rico played his ass off.
I agree.
And it's not going to matter because now he's going to be a free agent and he'll go somewhere else for a reasonable contract to be part of a rotation and be good somewhere else. But I do wonder, watching him in camp, I was like, yeah, Rico's pretty good. Everybody else, blah, you don't really want them on the field. Rico's pretty good. Then as the season's going on, early on, it was kind of like, yeah, but I mean, he looks good because the other guys are not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm kind of living back in the place where I'm like, Rico might be a real life dude. Like I said, top 5 in the league in success rate. Over 56% of the time when he's handed the ball, it's considered a successful play. He's up to 4.5 yards a carry. He might be an actual dude. They might be able to run the football if they stop trying to give it to other people.
Yeah. I mean, and we've talked about it, like him getting an opportunity to take multiple reps, to get a feel, to get in a rhythm, to continue to develop that vision that we talked about we want to improve. I think he is starting to get a better feel for, the game within the game. And
so next week he's going to get 3 carries and Dalvin Cook's going to get 13.
Stop. No, and quite honestly, knowing Rico at this point, speaking to him in the locker room, we know the injuries and stuff he's dealt with, dog. Like, if he does go somewhere else and he's successful, good for him.
I need to see.
Get out of here, my guy.
I need to see a little bit more.
You need to see a little bit more.
I mean, because Atlanta doesn't give me the proper litmus test on you being able to be a really good running back.
I agree with that, but I do think, to Jeff's point, I do think you can see things. You look at guys and you be like, oh, he's a running back. Or you say, oh, okay, well, he was explosive there. Oh, he saw that. He cut back right there because he saw that. I understand what you're saying as far as the competition, but there are some things that you can evaluate from a positional standpoint, like how is his balance? How is his vision? How is his explosiveness?
Yeah, and I think all of those things have been in question all year long.
Yeah.
When you look at Rico as a back as a whole, like he hasn't had the best vision. He hasn't had the best breaking tackles and contact balance. And
he
those
just
things.
moves way faster than the other backs.
But he hasn't had a game like he's only had one other game where he gets to feel the game. And I think that is so intricate to the running back position.
Many would say you have to feel the rhythm, feel
and
the rhyme.
Oh.
Get on up. It's bobsled time.
Feel the
cool runnings.
Cool runnings.
Yes.
It's cool runnings?
Yeah.
Yeah, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up. It's bobsled time. Or if you're feeling down today, go into your bathroom mirror and look at it and say, I see pride.
Yes.
Or I'm nice.
I see power.
Affirm yourself.
I see a badass mudda who don't take no crap off of nobody. Cool runnings. Once again. Go Rico. Coming up next, it is a Magic Marker Monday. What are the Cowboys going to do? Jerry said he might have some up his sleeve. What are they going to do at the deadline, and what should they do? You tell us in the chat. Please hit the like and subscribe button. We're almost at 10,000. We need you. And that is all next on the Cowboys DLLS podcast.
If you want it durable, if you want it stylish, if you want it to have great utility, if you wanted to keep your meats cold.
Yes,
or your drinks cold. If you wanted to use it as a flotation device. If you want to use it for whatever you want to do, outside, inside, for parties, for outdoor, go get yourself a cooler from Rugged Road. RuggedRoadOutdoors.com. They have the latest and greatest in cooler wear. Their company is phenomenal. They are looking at this thing and saying, we have the best cooler on the market.
It's the best.
Is that a Rugged Road over there? That one we have over there? I think that's a Rugged Road right there. I'm sure that's a Rugged Road right over there. It's durable. It's crafty. It looks phenomenal. Use our promo code DLLS and get 10% off. Christmas is right around the corner. Don't miss the opportunity to get someone that you love a great cooler at Rugged Road Outdoors. DLLS is the promo code. 10% is off what you get. Go now and get one.
Now, once you have a cooler, you have to have somewhere to set it down.
Okay.
That's the floor.
Oh.
So go to EmpireToday.com and get $350 off new floors. EmpireToday.com/DLLS. Then you'll have somewhere to put your cooler. Good floors. Wood. Laminate.
Yeah.
Tile.
Yeah.
Carpet.
Yeah. Why you say laminate so hard?
I don't know. Whatever it is, our guys at Empire Today, they can take care of you. Want you some vinyl? Get you some vinyl.
Some vinyl.
They're the best of the best. What they include in their selection, or I guess what they don't include in their selection is as important as what they do. They go through everything and make sure that we're not giving you a billion different things to choose from, just the really good stuff that is going to look good in your home. And they're going to do it right. And they're virtual floor designers. Great way to see how new floors would look in any space. Take a picture, instantly see how new floors would look in that space. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. Our listeners can get $350 off when you use the promo code DLLS. Restrictions apply. EmpireToday.com/DLLS. All right. It is a Magic Marker Monday. I can see Chris over there. He said, my magic marker would be to fire Mike. All right.
My God.
Okay. They're not going to fire Mike. They're going to fire Mike the same way they fired Jason Garrett. They're going to let his contract run out and then say that they didn't fire him. The contract just ran out. Yeah, his contract expired. And now we're going to have to go find a new coach. The DTs in the upcoming draft look awesome. Okay, I'm about to start draft work.
They do. We're about to start.
I got the film.
Y'all are forcing us at this point. I don't like being pushed into it.
So what we want to do is, how do you want to phrase it? What should the Cowboys do at the trade deadline? Will they do?
I think at the trade deadline, are they going to be buyers?
Okay.
Are they going to be sellers?
Okay.
Or are they going to stay right where they're at?
Okay. Okay, so it's a prediction. And I just...
What
Right.
should they do and what will they do? Absolutely, Kit Kat.
And then-
Completely different.
And I actually think the answers to what they should do and what they will do are the same. And so just so that I can do a bit and sing a song, I'm going to change the
You wanna go
question
first?
just for me. I want to go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the question that I'm going to propose is, who will they add at the trade deadline? And
Get him, Keith Sweat.
This is the answer.
Oh my.
Nobody.
Who the Cowboys gonna get?
Nobody.
Will the Cowboys sell?
Nobody.
Or are they gonna stay right there?
That was the end of my song.
Nobody, baby.
I think that they should.
I never got why he sounded so nasally.
And I think, that's the way it goes sometimes.
It's not my
I
business.
mean, think about all the bands that sounded like Green Day or Blink 182. Every one of them sounds the same way, like the other note. It just takes some time. Anyway, I'm thinking nobody. I think Jerry is making things up to try to keep you engaged for 24 hours, which is weird because it will run out in 24 hours. You'll no longer have the ability to tell that lie. And I hope that they don't do anything. I hope that Jerry doesn't just whiplash himself into, like, this was a setup. Mike McCarthy got set up. Dak got set up. Everybody got set up. And
You got set up too. You got set up.
You got
the
set up.
fans. You got
You
set up.
people.
You people.
You
got set up.
people. You got set up.
Sorry, Kit Kat, I scared you back there. She was like, whoa. Yeah, she was like,
Can we have a?
yeah, she.
Yeah. Did you get it in? Got that in? What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you
know.
people?
I know we gotta say nobody because that's just
Nobody.
We don't have
the
to say it.
reality of it.
Yeah.
But I do have a wish.
I like your wishes.
I wish they would trade for Aziz Ojulari.
Supposed to write it down on the
Uh,
board.
Yeah, it's magic
Not even
marker
Monday. It's
Monday. You
magic.
don't just get to
You
say
don't get
it.
to say it. You gotta write it. Oh, you put the boards and gave you.
OJ
Uh,
ULARI. Now hold it up. That's the rules.
I don't think people can read my handwriting.
That's
But
that's when
Aziz-
you say it.
You're just trying to get you a random edge guy.
Aziz Ojulari, he's not a random
You're
guy.
just trying to get a random edge guy.
So you can see it. Okay, say it. So,
And that camera, that one. There you go.
Aziz Ojulari. He's been playing well this year. He's like,
Oh, that's. I'm not
freshman.
saying he sucks. I'm saying he's just trying to.
It's not random because let's just keep it a buck here. I don't with this Micah thing. That looks
What are you doing?
with this
here?
Micah thing.
Yeah.
It seems more serious than what they let on. Like he's still high ankle sprain. Anything is crazy. Like when they said it was a high ankle
Yeah.
sprain, I was nervous about it. Even at that,
I
like
think
Sam Williams.
I think
is
Tank's career is
suspended
over. By the
regardless.
way,
You think that Tank is
I think Tank's career is over.
barnacles?
I don't know that he'll retire, but I think the body part that he's hurt again,
His
combined
feet.
with the age where he is in his career, his contract's up with the Cowboys this year anyway. Like, I don't think he'll be back with the Cowboys unless it's on the cheap. I think his career might be over. So to your point, I do think you are desperate at that position, not just today. Well, you'll get Nealand and Williams back next year, so maybe you're not.
But Sam's gonna be suspended and
No, he got to serve it while he's hurt.
barnacles. That's fantastic.
I don't know how that works, but
That's
yeah,
amazing. It's like probation.
yeah, he served his.
But
or he's
also
serving
too,
it.
like even with Sam though, it's like, what year would that be for him?
He'll be going into
4.
year 4.
And this was
but
supposed to be
Ojulari's
a
in
big
year
year.
4. So if we trade for him, now are you signing him? Are you paying him, man? Because I'm not here to rent people for this season. You know? Oh, we're racing now. Okay, that was okay. Do you have any other wishes? Here we go. Let's see what she comes up with. Nobody. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Jesse, I bet you have really good ideas for what they could do. Ways that they could be creative and guys they could add to this thing to really inject some energy into
No,
the season.
because he don't think that anyone has any trade value.
No, but I think that he's going to predict that they're going to trade for lots of people.
Yeah.
I think I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah. I got you. That's right here, man. Hey, right here.
Man, I think this is the part we haven't been talking about. You
Not a
Magazine.
dang thing.
Not a dang thing.
Not a dang thing.
That's what the Cowboys are going to do with this trade deadline. Not a dang thing. Because let's be honest, right? Like we are the show of transparency and honesty and,
That's us.
and realistic beliefs.
That's us.
Mm-hmm.
It's us.
There is nothing that you can trade for that's going to turn this season around.
I agree.
Nothing.
What if you made 7 trades?
That would be an NFL record. There's not enough.
What if you traded for a defensive tackle, a second running back, a second receiver, a little help on the offensive line, a little help with the pass rush, a safety? We're cooking now.
Listen, if the commissioner of the National Football League, if that came across his desk that the Cowboys had made 7 trades,
yeah, damn right.
That'll never happen.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
It would not be awesome. It would be a bad idea.
But at this point in time, you just have Jerry said that Sunday to hold you for Monday, and then Tuesday gets here and it's election, right? Like vote, go out and vote.
Vote.
But it's election, right? So election's gonna carry us. If we have anything that we've done like the layer, we're not gonna know what the numbers are until Saturday, right? So election coverage will dominate everything.
Our election coverage starts tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Right here on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
So Jerry said that to hold you over and then till the election. And no one's going to know what really happened in the trade deadline, and the election will come about, and we'll talk about that as a
country
society.
Will be on fire.
Yeah, it'll be up in an uproar about who did what. Whoever wins, there's going to be a side that's an uproar, and that's going to last Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we get to the weekend, and then you're just football again, right? So he can skate through all of that because of the coverage. He just said that just to say something at the end of it because I keep telling y'all, he is a businessman. His job is to always sell to you, not to trade, but to you. Now, if there is anything that could possibly be done, if we have to choose one, it would be more of a seller than a buyer.
Yeah. So you can get some things back.
So we can get some things back.
In the draft. And y'all know we talked about comp picks, Jeff, and stuff like that.
I would sell anything that somebody wants from you. That's not a long-term piece. Like, I'm not telling you to trade Micah Parsons or Deron Bland or whatever.
People are suggesting trading Trayvon Diggs. I've seen that.
Do what? Oh, wait, and like I'm not telling you to trade Trayvon Diggs. I'm not telling you to trade any of those guys. Because if you were going to do something like that, sure, now is the time that a contender wants them. But let's say just in the case of Micah Parsons. No, you trade him on draft day when you know the pick you're getting. Like, I'm not interested in the Detroit Lions 32nd overall pick. I'm interested in somebody who's...
But are you listening to calls?
I would listen to calls on Micah Parsons, and I don't think that.
And I'm just not saying Micah. I'm saying Trayvon.
Yeah, I'd listen on anybody.
I'm like, is there? Better question. Is there?
There's a price for everything.
Okay, I was ready to say, is there a guy on this team that you would not listen to any trade scenario?
Just Dak and CeeDee because you can't trade them because the contracts are so new and it would cost you too much money.
And Dak has a no trade clause in
right
there as well.
But no, I mean I'm not trading Tyler Smith.
Yeah,
I'm not trading DeMarvion Overshown.
Cooper Beebe.
But
even Cooper Beebe, I wouldn't trade.
But if you called me and said, like, in one of those random players, I'll give you more than a first-round pick, I'd be like, you're a psycho. Of course I'll do that. So I got to listen because there's a price for everything.
Right.
But I have no intention of trading somebody that is young, under long-term contract, affordable, that I plan to be part of. Because the Cowboys plan to be good next year. And I think they plan to be better than that the next year and the 2 following it. So like, you're not giving up guys that are a part of that. But if somebody wants one of my guys that's on the last year of a deal and you're going to give me, now I have 11 picks, 12 picks, 13 picks to play with when we get to April, sure.
Does a contending team call for Zach Martin?
No.
I don't know.
Now?
I mean, if they're awful at right guard, maybe.
Right now, no.
But if they're awful.
I do think, and we talked about this earlier, also Odighizuwa had 7 pressures yesterday. He's probably your only defensive end that's drawn double teams. He's had some good numbers as far as being a pass rusher. I do think a contender would be interested in Oso Odighizuwa. I think a lot of Oso Odighizuwa's lack of success here in Dallas, I guess you want to say, because you have to look within the numbers to see he's playing well, and then also to look at him on film. But the lack of DT play has affected him every year because he always ends up being kind of the fall guy at the 3-tech position because you're lacking at the 1-tech. So he's having to do things like that. So I do think that a team could see someone like Oso Odighizuwa on his last year say, hey, this is a 3-tech that can actually rush the passer. We got a big ham in the middle that we could pair him with and can be successful with. I do.
Yeah, if you find the right team, and they are interested in one of your guys, I hope that the Cowboys are sellers. If somebody offers you, I don't know what they
also Odigizua, by the way.
Yeah, and I don't know what they offer you, but like, yes, Osa, Golston, I think is in his last year. Jordan Lewis, whatever.
The legs on his career, the longevity he has had is something to admire.
Especially with the injury he came off of this year.
The injuries, the coaching changes, guys thinking he's too small, and he's just prevailed and made a career, dude.
Yeah, if you're trying to make a playoff run, you want any of my guys that's contracts are up at the end of the year, holler at me. Let's do it, especially if it's a guy that's not going to get a decent contract in the offseason, because then I could get a comp pick later. But like Jordan Lewis is probably going to be another 1 year, $3-4 million guy to whoever's next team is. So you're not going to get a comp pick. So like, yeah, you want him? Let me get my 6th round pick and you can have a 7th round pick.
What about
back.
Ferg? To trade Ferg?
No, because I have nothing behind him.
He's a foundational piece at this point. And that's what I was going to ask you too, because when we're talking about maybe what's going to happen with this coaching staff, doesn't that affect, like, if you are going to trade guys or whatever the case may be, maybe you're trying to get some comp picks and all that stuff for the next staff, but
yeah, you're trying to make a pretty picture for the next guy to come in. I'm trying to make this picture pretty to you.
So maybe
here's
is
our cap
something
space.
that could be happening.
You got a quarterback, a pass rusher, and a wide receiver. We got an all-pro offensive lineman.
You got a linebacker that's coming along, some young linebackers that you can.
You got money to spend and tons of picks. Come on in, coach.
That's what happened with the Commanders.
Come on, Belichick.
That's what happened with the Commanders. That's literally what's happening with them. They just hit on a quarterback.
That's who they're going to hire.
I do want Belichick, Jesse. He's the best coach ever.
It's going to make me so mad.
He's the best coach ever, so I want him.
They're going to bring John Gruden in.
Let's talk.
Yeah. Okay, we got some questions from the people that are coming up next on the Cowboys DLLS podcast, including, if and when they have a top 10 pick, what position are you targeting?
Oh, my God.
Isn't it too early? I don't know. We'll find out next. But first, this is the final day of our awesome deal. For you to become a diehard. If you're a DFW Sports diehard and you want to join fellow psychos like yourself, get up in here and join up. What you get is so much exclusive, cool stuff from our website in terms of content, T-shirt, in terms of discounts. Of course, carrying card. Get you a little diehard carrying card that can prove that you're a diehard. I think the coolest part is access to our DLLS Discord lounge, where we all hang out and talk DFW sports, but also we have like 15 different channels for all sorts of different things. We could talk about what to put in the Rugged Road cooler if we go float the river. We can always talk about feet. We could talk about
love me some good. Woof.
I told you when he wasn't here. I told you that he was gonna talk about.
Woof.
Yeah, and the best deal we've ever had. It expires tonight. So sign up to be a diehard, but make sure that you do it today. The information on how to do that is in the description, but it's also alldlls.com/intro to sign up. So get on over there and do it. Okay. Boy, I hate the draft. I don't hate draft questions, but I mean, it's Monday.
I don't like it.
It's Monday.
Y'all are stressing me out.
It's Monday. But the answer is, I have good news for you.
It's not even Thanksgiving.
You get to pick the best available player.
Because you need everything. That's what I'm about to say. Ain't no discriminating. Yes.
When people argue about the best guy versus need,
there is no
don't care. Pick the best player.
Which is an idea. It's a terrible situation to be in, but I do think for a team like this, ideal. Because you cannot overthink it. And if they do overthink it, I'm going to want to fight on draft night.
Yeah, and they'll do silly stuff. Like, I think the thing that most teams do wrong when they do draft stuff, and I think this team absolutely does it, is, like, it's weird because I'm just going to go after Jerry literally no matter what he does. Because, like, if Jerry makes a deal for a player, Jerry traded for Trey Lance, who will never, and if Dak's hurt, heck, maybe you put him in and you let him play. Maybe we talk about that in a second. That's who I would put in if Dak's going to miss.
That's
Why?
Tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Because I want to have fun when I watch football. Let somebody run around and be crazy. But like Jerry made that trade.
Right.
And it turned out that he literally just gave away a 4th-round pick to have a $5 million inactive third quarterback because he thought that maybe Dak would look at that and be like, I'm going to give you a discount. I'm scared because Jerry's a weirdo. And that was also your pick that would have gotten you a running back that would be with Rico, and then you would have an actual backfield. But whatever, who cares about all that? I think the biggest mistake people make is they let coaches have say on draft picks. I think it's insane. Because at any moment, your coach could be fired. In any offseason, your coach could be fired. And guess who no longer cares about that dude that coach picked for you? The next coach. He don't give half a crap.
So how do you suggest it's done? Because
that you scout the players, Will McClay and his staff put them in order. When you're on the clock, you look at the top one and you say him. And you do it again and again.
There's no conversation at all about how does he fit what we do?
No, that's done beforehand. That's done way beforehand. Like that's actually how Will McClay got the job.
Yes.
The reason that he has the job is because what year was Sharif Floyd? The Sharif Floyd draft, he was a top 10 player on their board. And then they're on the clock and it was like, guys, we have a top 10 player and we're picking somewhere in the teens. Like, done.
Yeah.
God bless us. We're killing it.
I get
and
what
then
you're
Rod
saying.
Marinelli was like, he don't fit what I want to do. And they went, that would have been nice to know. Okay. So after that draft, Will McClay became the guy who bridges coaches to scouts to all of those different things.
Tracking.
And that work is done beforehand. Like you as a coach, our friend Brian Broaddus will tell you a great story about offensive line when Bill Parcells was here. And he had an offensive lineman that he was like, I really like that guy. And Broaddus was like, I actually know you. He's nothing that you like, an offensive lineman. He's everything you hate. And it turned out the dude couldn't play, but Parcells picked him anyway because he just wanted to. So yeah, I think that you as a coach let the scouts know these are the things I value, these are the things I like, these are the things we're going to try to do, and then they will go get you the players because it's their job. They do it all year. I don't need Dan Quinn going to a pro day and saying Sean Wright, gotta have him. I don't want that in my life. Let the dudes whose career it is to watch these guys and tell you what they can be or what they are. Let them do their jobs. Let them do their job. Let me get TJ Watt. He was higher on the board than Taco. Let me pick him.
Yeah.
Please. I don't need you telling me long arm. Although that was whatever. I don't even care. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
What's the next question? What's the next question?
Hold on. Let me get back there.
What's the next Cowboys question for us?
If the Cowboys, because right now, currently, the Cowboys sit 10, 11 on the draft board.
I think they're, hold on.
I think they're 11.
Let me go to Tankathon.
Y'all speak Spanish.
What's your favorite tank gif on the internet? Mine's obviously the ice tank. Let's see. NFL Tankathon.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, slide on in there. Yeah, we're currently sitting at 11th. But the good news is, and I teased this in the NFL, the Around the NFL thing, if you knew that the Cowboys were going to lose yesterday, which I kind of did, and you were already worried about the draft a little bit, which I kind of am, you wanted to see Carolina get a big win yesterday. They did. You wanted to see Tennessee get a big win yesterday. They did. Those were the two worst teams in football. Now you're only one game behind. You're one game behind being the worst.
For me, as if because they will, the Cowboys will continue to creep up in this draft board, and you two are far better when it comes to drafting stuff than I am.
Thank you. He just wants us to take Tar Heels. That's Jesse. Just like, give me a Tar Heels.
Always give me a Tar Heel.
Put Awesome out there.
I mean, he was out there for a little bit. He's out there for a little bit.
I seen it, Jesse. I seen it.
You got to trade back. Like, you got to trade back. Like, if you get into the top 10, you got to trade back. You got to trade back.
That's my motto in the draft is please at all times trade down. Captain Trade Down loves to ride, especially if you're going to take a non-premier position. Like you want to take a running back? Fine. Don't you do that at 9. Do it at 20.
Because the Cowboys currently right now, you have a premier pass rusher.
Yep.
You have a quarterback. And you have a stud wide receiver. Unless there's a can't miss. I mean, you still have the project at left tackle. So unless there's I'm gonna say a can't miss left tackle, anything else, we're trading back. Like we're trading out of that top 10 and getting multiple picks for that.
They have too much they need to do. That's why the Micah Parsons thing becomes a discussion because they have so much that they need.
Unless you're going to get a quarterback right for this team, out of the top 10.
Yeah. But what do you consider? What do you consider Micah?
What do you mean?
As if there's tiers of players,
he's at the top.
He's at the top.
Yeah, he's an absolute superstar. He's a defensive player of the year candidate every year for the next 5 years.
How many Micahs do you think happen every 5 years?
3 to 5.
Micahs?
Well, think about it. Micah, Bosa, Watt, Garrett. So maybe it's 2 every 5 years, 2 or 3 every 5 years.
Yeah,
there's right
And
now
so
there's
what-
5
so-
or 6 of him in the league.
So you're
give or take.
willing to trade that away on the possibility of maybe, again, getting more players, but then doing away with the superstar.
You would know for a
element of
fact
it.
that
I
you're
don't.
not going to return a player anything like him. You know that for a fact going in.
And-
What you're
but-
doing now is you're playing with spreadsheets. You're playing with budgets and balance. And could I
don't like
lose
that.
one of the most premier pass rushers in the NFL,
like that.
use the money that his contract would have gotten to fix my offensive line, the draft picks I'd get for him to fix my run defense and maybe find a starting corner? Like, you're just trying to say, I got too much I need, and I think you can shortcut me to plugging holes.
Ooh,
And for the most part, yeah, it's a bad idea. If you think you're a contender, keep your best players.
right.
You should
But
usually
are
keep
they-
your best players.
Are they a contender though? Because
Not today.
I agree.
Not today.
I agree with you when you talk about the rest of the league has caught up. Like even in your division, like Jaden Daniels will be on this rookie deal for the next couple years, which means they'll continue to go and add a ton of pieces
Right.
to that Washington team.
Yeah.
Right. Like clearly, we've already seen Howie in Philadelphia lap Jerry Jones as far as a GM and how to put pieces together on that football team. So I think they'll continue to grow.
They'll try.
And
They're
the
going to have a
Giants-
problem, though.
And the
And if-
Giants need a. If
And
they
if
had
the
a
Giants,
quarterback,
when they fire Dayball, if they just so happen to go and grab one of the premier guys, that could turn around.
yeah.
That could turn around.
I feel like the NFL in general on Sundays, y'all. I ain't gonna even hold y'all. Just everything that's going on. It's just a weird feeling to just feel like the NFL's passing you by. And that's what I feel like. I literally feel like that kid that's
Once
just
we have
sitting there
Belichick,
watching
you won't feel
everyone.
that way. We'll be right at the
Why
forefront.
do you like to antagonize me?
Be right at the forefront. Who
Anyhow-
else has been fired or out of the league for 2 or 3 years? That's your next head coach.
Rex Ryan, John Gruden.
John Gruden.
John Gruden.
That's the one.
John Gruden is
That's the
trying,
one.
He's trying to whiteboard.
Kind of got in
video
trouble for some
himself.
stuff, and
Well,
Jerry's going to
not
be like,
kinda
yeah,
got
but
in
he's a
trouble.
great
He
guy.
said some racist things. It was a lot of trouble that he got himself into.
Right,
Those
and Jerry will
emails.
be like, right, but he's, I know him, and he's not,
I'm all about what do you call it? Rehabilitation.
He loves a second chance.
He does.
Any bright spots yesterday besides you pointing out
Rico.
Rico? Do you have a bright spot from yesterday?
Yeah. I sit in the seat of Clarence Hill.
1-3.
I'm starting to fall in love with that kid.
Doug,
He's a
you
dog.
watch him play and you say to yourself,
He's a dog.
if this man
He might be a
had
star.
a defensive line,
Like I'm
bro,
starting.
If I
to,
trade Mike, I can get him a D-line.
I'm gonna step on your toe because you
No,
are just so
like,
aggy.
and I'm not in the pool of trading Micah, but
Nothing matters except what comes after the but.
This kid can be one of those premier pass rushers. We can convert this kid. I like.
situationally, but let him play linebacker.
He has to kind of come under a little bit of control.
Control. He has to set his
Like
feet.
he's a wild.
Yeah, but then he might not make some of these
I
plays.
know,
You just got to let him
but
go.
He's a wild card at times.
But he's reading it. He's
Let him
seeing
go.
it.
I'm beginning to fall in love with this kid.
I'm so glad you brought him up. I agree with you there. I would say bright spot for me is that if you go watch the game, watch what's going on. Tyler Guyton is improving. Now, obviously,
Outside of the
penalties,
73 penalties,
the penalties hurt.
the man had 73 penalties. He killed 73 drives.
They
He had a
literally
good day. That was a
ruined
good day.
everything. And you know what makes it worse too? Love the kid. The reactions he has, where he's just like, "Come on," and he's like talking to himself, and I'm just like, "We know, kid, but you're killing us. Like you're killing
Yeah,
these
he gave up
drives.
a sack to a guy I never heard
You're
of.
killing these
I thought he might
drives."
be about to have a whole Chaz day.
Yes. Oh no. It
thought-
wasn't. No.
I thought there was an Adrian Claiborne out there because I'm like,
No.
I have no idea who the guys that just beat you for a sack. I've never heard of him.
I think we're critical of him, but when you look within the game, he actually is. You can see him learning from some of his mistakes in game and stuff
I
like
gotta
that.
sit
I
down
do
and watch a
think he's
game
getting.
with you one time.
Yeah,
'cause-
he's definitely.
'cause
No, it was.
like we gotta sit down. You and I, we have to sit down, and you gotta talk to me like I'm 5 years old. Like
For
this
me-
is it. This is it. Oh, there, right there. Because I'm.
You don't see it.
And I don't want to be hard on the kid.
I thought their pass protection
I
was
think-
bad against a bad
I
pass
don't.
rusher.
Yeah.
He was
I
part
don't want
of
to be
it.
hard on
I
the
didn't
kid.
think it
but-
was good. I don't think it was good. Like, here's the thing. I think again, I'm gonna be critical of the players and everything, but when I see him week to week making an improvement on, like, okay, this guy's killing you with this rip move. He's killing you with this swipe or whatever. How does he adjust to that the next week? I do see him improving there. I don't really. You took my bright spot for real. Like you took it for real.
You
Like
posed the question. You should have jumped in there.
Nah,
and threw
you
your guy
took-
out there
I support you trying to find an extra one. And be
I'm
like, okay,
trying
fine,
to.
watch me work. I'll find one.
I'm trying to find a bright spot.
I thought at the beginning of the game, I thought to myself, okay, they're getting Jake Ferguson going in this game. Like
Yeah.
they're
That's-
finding ways to get him going.
I will say, thank you. That's a better one. He with Ferguson, I think he is getting further removed from the MCL. Because yesterday we saw some of the wiggle. We saw him being able to slip some tackles. I haven't seen that from him most of the season. Just seeing how he turns, his vision comes into play. He looks at the field, and you see how he can maneuver through contact and stuff. We did get to see a little bit more of that this week,
Yeah,
and I think he does.
I
look
thought
himself.
yesterday they actually gave him the ball in space instead of having him getting the ball running towards the sideline.
Right.
Or towards the sideline and kind of back.
Yeah, I'm like,
Giving him a
you gave
chance
him the
to
ball
see.
to actually turn and
Yeah.
have some room to go and do what he does.
Yes.
Instead of just always running flat route, or option towards the sideline. So getting him in space was good.
I
So
got that.
I'd like to shout out to Dak for running.
oh,
It got him hurt. He's running. I was like, yeah, Jesse was right. He's like, no matter what, I'm going to give you a couple. And he took off and got a couple. And then he was like, and I pulled my hammy.
I put the GIF up. Remember when Joe Rogan, he's like doing the sideline reporting for MMA, and he's like this, like
Yeah.
That's what Dak hamstrings were doing when he took off running. They were like, "What are you doing? What are you
is
doing?
this?
What is this? You're taking
Y'all-
off running."
Y'all not gonna keep me out of
We
heaven.
public shamed Dak into an injury.
I'm
God
not
damn
We
it.
did. We did
We
that to him.
public.
Dak-
I blame you, Pop, because you
I'm
asked him
not
that
okay.
question and you told him that Flacco and Rodgers.
I bet he's ahead of them now.
And those other guys had more rushing yards than him. This is your fault, Pop.
They
You
might-
publicly shamed him into an injury.
They might pass him back up in the 4 weeks that he misses. He said he plans to play this week, but we'll see. We got MRI and
it's
stuff.
probably
We'll
not gonna
update stuff tomorrow. So thanks for stopping by. Please
Yes.
like and subscribe. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we're trying to get there. So if you could help us out, that would be great. And remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
Or else.
We all silly like the mayor.